good morning. So today's tip comes from Each Way Outsiders, and you can find more about them using the link graboffer.today/eachwayout. And their selection for today is in the 7 o'clock at Kempton, and it's Hieronymus. And we've got the 7 o'clock Kempton race open here. So let's just take a quick look at Hieronymus and see if we agree with this selection. Obviously this is an each way selection, so let's take a look. The Kempton race is a flat all-weather race, class 3, and the ground today is standard to slow, being run over a mile with prize money around just over 7 grand. The first thing I notice is we have our VDW place scores here of 89%. That tells us that VDW score is going to be quite a good predictor of a horse's chance of placing in this race. So I'm going to start by opening that and sorting by VDW score. The first thing I notice is Hieronymus is down here. It's not in the top 4, which starts with a little bit of a cause for concern there. Concern is probably the wrong word, but doesn't make me want to go straight in with this runner immediately. So let's just keep looking to see what else we can find. I'm going to search now by the PR odds. Again, PR odds are sorted by PR odds. PR odds is the Race Advisors tissue odds column, and this is merged with the live Betfair odds to try and give us some value, and I can click on that and actually get the raw scores and probabilities. And we can see here Hieronymus is right down here with a 0.31% chance of winning, and we're giving it odds of 152. Now that doesn't mean that this is 100% correct. Obviously our tissue odds are that. It is a prediction from the Race Advisor, and no more. It is not always right. But again, it's just a flag that there may be some sort of hidden issue. And I say hidden issue because I'm looking here at this horse's past form, and we can see it's a course distance winner, and the little asterisk there means it's won over the course and distance on this track, but in the same race. It's had a great recent form, came 3rd last time out and 3 first places. So we're going to dig a little bit more into that to see where this slight cause for concern that we're seeing on some of these ratings is possibly coming from, and whether they're founded or not founded. The next thing I'm going to do to try and get a bit of an overview is I'm going to run a Monte Carlo simulation here. And this just takes a moment or two, and it just compares all the horses in the race using all the ratings that I've got on this particular race card. It compares them all and it scores the horse based on that. And you can see as it runs, the silks for the horse move along, so we can see kind of where each horse is likely to be sitting in the market. So we'll just let that run for a second. Once that's finished, we're going to take a look at the horse's place position in this simulation. We're going to have a look at a couple of ratings, and I'm going to jump into the horse's past form to see where it is. And what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for why some of these combined factors, these factors that look at the entire performance of a horse, are flagging it to not be quite as strong as we may think based on its recent form. So I'm trying to find out where that difference is and why we're seeing that to determine whether we think it's going to be a good tip today. So that simulation is finished. I'm just going to open the results of it here, sort in order, and we can see here Hieronymus is kind of sitting, it's down here, middle of the pack, and this goes alongside the same as the PR odds. It goes alongside the VDW scoring that we just looked at, and it's giving it about a 14% chance here in this race. So okay, so I'm going to exit that. Let's have a quick look at some of these ratings. First of all, days since last good race. Now it's had a good race in the last 13 days. That's a very, very strong point. I can also see for the 5278 rating, and this is kind of a combined rating as well. It's number 2, second in the market. So we got some differing opinions here across different pieces of information. That starts to tell me that this race is likely to be quite competitive. So we want to make sure we're getting decent odds on whatever selection we are going for. Speed here, if we sort by best ever speed on the race type, it's sitting in the middle of the pack, which is fine, over a mile. Coming down here to PFP, which is a collateral form based rating. Again, it's kind of further down. What I'm actually going to do, because this is predicted race pace fast, I'm going to look at 2 other pieces of information quickly. I'm going to look at the pace. This is a fast race, which means we're looking for early pressers and mid-pack horses generally. So I'm going to look at that and then have a very quick look at the speed graphs. So looking at the pace, I'm going to sort here by total pace. And we can see Hieronymus here, 1.12. It likes to be mid-pack. That's its preference. It's likely to be an early presser in this race, which is fine, early presser, because there's a big jump between the expected pace for Hieronymus and those above it, and the ones below it. We can see it jumps down to 0.5 just here. Now there's 3 horses above it, and the top one, Zui Feng, is looking like it's likely to be the leader in this race. It's going to get ahead of itself. Hopefully that horse is then going to run itself out, leaving space for kind of Tintoretto and Hieronymus to come in behind as those early pressers. Nicklaus possibly there too, but may also, if it's trying to keep up with Zui Feng, run itself out. So this is another good strong for Hieronymus. Having a very quick look at the speed graphs for this race, they're going to look probably quite crowded. That's what I thought. So we're just going to put this down into a flat all weather, and I'm going to go standard to slow. And that kind of strips a lot out. And then I'm going to zoom in to recent races to see what we've got here. And now what we can see here, kind of roughly over the last year or so of racing, we've got a nice solid horse here, Al Mufti. Just below that, Tipperary Jack. Tintoretto, which we've already mentioned, coming in. Zui Feng looking strong. Tintoretto there as well. Now Hieronymus is back over here with this last race, and we can see again it's a little bit lower than the others in terms of speed. And if I zoom out a bit, we can see there was one high point back here in January. Horse did very well. Again at Kempton, flat all weather, standard to slow, over the same distance as today. So it does have the potential, but it's a little bit, zooming back here out of this graph, we can see it's a little bit bouncy, it's a little bit up and down. It has had some excellent races. There was a superb race back here, but that was back in 2018. So most recently it's been jumping around a bit. There is a bit of concern. There does seem to be a number of horses that are likely to be better than it in this race. So let's jump into this horse's form now and see what we've got here. So we can see here we've got some races in 2020. Generally speaking, it's very good. These 3 here, standard to slow, and standard to slow. Now we notice here it was carrying 8.10, it won by just over a length. It was carrying 9.2, it won by 5 lengths. It was carrying 9.4, won by just over 4 lengths. Today carrying 9.9, so carrying more weight back down to kind of this race at the beginning in January here, 7 furlongs where it came at 12th. Carrying 9.8 on standard. If we come back down a little bit further, we can see there was a 9.9 where it was carrying 9.9 here on slow ground, but it was flat, not all weather, beaten again by 3.6 lengths. Scrolling down, we got standard to slow, beaten by a couple of lengths here. So there's definitely, this horse definitely has potential. It can place. There are a couple of question marks, but remember the tip from Each Way Outsiders was that it was an each way bet, obviously. And there is definitely potential. It can run over the distance. We've seen that. It can run over the ground. We have seen that. There is definitely some concerns over the speed, whether it's going to get there, but it's likely to have the right pace for this race, which gives it that kind of edge. It's also carrying a little bit more weight than it may be comfortable with today. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. It's got potential. It's going to be a competitive race. It could be in the right position. The current odds, if we come back here to the race card, we can see the current odds are sitting at 9.2, which is pretty good for Betfair. And I would personally probably actually be looking to go 80-20 on this horse rather than standard each way. I would be going an 80% place and a 20% win if I was going to be betting on this horse. But overall, this horse definitely looks like it's got possibility today. Looks like it can contend, but there are a number of question marks over its performance, which is slightly offset by its likely great pace position as well. So that's the overview of Hieronymus, the tip from Each Way Outsiders today. You can get that, find out more about Each Way Outsiders at graboffer.today/eachwayout. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any of these daily tips from some of the leading tipsters in the market. Thank you very much.